Hello and welcome. It is I'm Raiden, back yet again with another new topic of discussion. I'm feeling good, even though I've been under the weather for like 2 weeks now. It is post Thanksgiving, and I am again. For those who don't know, anyone who has seen just even a couple of my videos, all right, no, I tend to do some of the more topical stuff. I tend to talk about, whatever, movies, entertainment, some stuff, some gaming stuff as well. I'm trying to do a blend of everything. And I'm also trying to add some more comedy. I'm also trying to just want to make things like I'll be critical of something, maybe I'll go in a little bit more on some things every now and again, but I'm also trying to add a little bit more of a comedic tone, as well as just maybe segments like skits and stuff like that. So I'm trying to add a more like laid back approach, because that's honestly what I really want to do with this, because if I'm going to critique something, I'm going to have some fun with that shit. Okay. We are not here. If it gets your panties in a bunch, then I am here. And if I got something to say about something, then, well, that's a you problem, I guess. Okay. Honestly, like I can't be apologetic about this type of, I just can't. That's just the way it is. And it's not to say I'm going to go about everything. I'm going to go like, oh, this is ultra woke, you son of a bitch. How dare you ruin my show? It's like, no, even though some of that stuff is kind of true. But no, that's not about everything. We are doing different things here and there, but whatever. So if that's a problem, then, well, I can't help you with that. Anyway, yes, on to the topic at hand, because we are not talking about anything movie or television related. No, we are actually talking a little bit of wrestling. I actually did do one video a little while back. That was back when CM Punk actually returned to professional wrestling after 6 or 7 years. He debuted on the second episode of Rampage. And where we are now, it is quite different now, isn't it? Yes, of course, as they've dubbed Brawl Out, that whole media scrub ordeal, he just went off the freaking rails. He took absolutely no prisoners whatsoever. And man, and seeing where we are, just seeing where we are now, well, that was, and as I said, it wasn't necessarily about, whether you're a big fan of Punk, or whether or not, like I said, whatever would happen post that, AEW debut. It was just a moment in time, just watching someone like this, someone like Punk, knowing he is who he is. Punk is gonna punk, and just knowing there's such a big return for what is now the second biggest wrestling company in North America, and just seeing him just come out and just seeing that reception in Chicago. I've never quite seen a reception like that. There have been pops, there have been, obviously, but that's got to be one of the biggest I've ever seen. All right, it was insane to absolutely witness. It was cool. It was absolutely cool. But seeing where we are now, it's like, man, Punk can just not get out of his own way. And people could, of course, argue, who's at fault, this and that, whatever. It's like, who started? It's like, well, honestly, Punk, let's be real, he did it to himself. I mean, he let his head get into his own way, thinking that Hangman was like, oh, he's going into business for himself, and it just really pissed him off. I'm like, dude, that really was nothing. I'm like, you really, to have done that, especially knowing that Tony Khan, like I said, gave you every chance in the world. You came back from the injury. He gave you the championship off of Moxley. And then supposedly he got injured again in that match. So even if that shit didn't happen, he would probably have to relinquish it again, or be an interim, or someone else would have to be interim or something like that, which of course it seems like he's now getting rid of, because he's now dubbed Jamie Hayter the official champion, and Thunder Rosa. But that's a side thing, whatever. Anyway, yes, so it was just a giant mess of a situation, and knowing he got into it with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and it, of course, is now in favor of the Young Bucks, this and that. And you just look at things now, and it's like, what a freaking waste that was. And knowing that Punk, after such a huge reception, after all your time away, just everyone just waiting to see what you could do to come back and this and that. And for some, some could say it's been positive, some could say it's been, whatever. But just like him and MJF, it's like that was a feud that was born to be. And for the most part, we got it. I mean, obviously, could there have been more? Yeah, sure. But I feel like they are doing a lot of things right now as far as MJF being the champion. That was absolutely the right call because, of course, if anyone can fill that void, it is MJF. That dude is not even in his prime yet. That dude is just getting started, and considering what he's done, knowing that he's living, eating, breathing heel, just like back in the day, it's like that guy is an absolute force to be reckoned with. And what they're doing now, he is absolutely doing something with that. That guy is special. And so once we see what happens with 2024, him and WWE, what does he do? If Tony Khan doesn't pay up, that would be an absolute fucking mistake. That is the heel of the generation. You absolutely need to hold on to him. So pay that man his money, or else you're fucking up. Because Triple H, okay, let's be a little bit of a tangent, but Triple H here, okay, people acting like, oh yeah, the Triple H era of WWE is going to change everything. Vince McMahon is out of the picture, even though he's still a majority shareholder. He can come back whenever the fuck he feels like it. Whether he does, I don't know. But Triple H has proven the fact that he is not a better booker at all. He is not. Okay, everything I'm seeing, reading between the lines, it's like he's not doing anything better. Look what he's doing to Austin Theory. I'm not even watching WWE consistently. I haven't been watching consistently for a while. But I'm reading up. I'm looking at things. I'm paying attention. He started off all right. It seemed like he could do something. But now he's just no. Anyone who sits there and acts like Triple H's shit, smells better than Vince's, like, no. That's just that's his son-in-law, for God's sake. Okay, Triple H has done nothing but leech off of everyone to get to the top of the ladder. Okay, he is proven to be honestly no different whatsoever at all. But anyway, that's a story for another time. But yeah, with the CM Punk situation, whatever happens to him, whether he comes back to AEW, I highly doubt that. Whether he goes to WWE, I know him and Triple H obviously don't see eye to eye on anything. And I mean, in this day and age of wrestling, especially with like all that Vince scandal and all the CM Punk stuff and injury, like there's been so much shit that has gone down the last like year and a half. It's been absolutely insane. So, I mean, I wouldn't bet on Punk going back to WWE. But again, in this day and age, if the money's right, I mean, fuck if I know. I mean, someone will probably, I don't know. I can't say no. But yeah. What has happened here has been one of the biggest disappointments in some time. I mean, to have seen him gone off like that and just all that shit and just everything surrounding that match with his injuries, and what a whirlwind of events in the wrestling world as of late. Absolutely so. And I mean, right now, I still feel like AEW, I know a lot of people will, either love it or hate it or whatever. It's like, well, to me, it's fine. They still have a lot of potential. And again, in this day and age, knowing what Tony Khan managed to do to bring forth this company, because wrestling is not as big as what it once was, and it's never going to be. They could be as Attitude Era as humanly possible. It doesn't matter. The old school, like, Attitude Era, the Hulk Hogan era, like all that stuff, things like that. That was larger than life entertainment back in the day. It did not matter at all. That was as big as like the NBA, like MJ and the Bulls. Okay, that's how big that shit was. You don't have that larger than life element for professional wrestling in this day and age. It just does not hit that pinnacle anymore, and is never going to, no matter what. And a lot of that has been to do with Vince McMahon and basically having a stranglehold on the industry in North America for the longest time. People can talk about New Japan and ROH and all this other stuff. The point of the matter is that professional wrestling in North America has suffered, and that's mostly due to being no real competition for WWE. And of course, you got to the PG era, and of course, the product itself just suffered. It was a shell of its former self. Okay, whether you like it or not, that is just a fact. The viewership is not there. Yeah, they could pull in 1.2, 1.3 million viewers. Doesn't matter. Back in the day, they could do double that shit. Okay, it doesn't matter. And yeah, so the point being is that AEW is still a good thing to have, because it still lit a pretty good sized fire underneath WWE's ass. Tony Khan was whooping Triple H's ass when it came to the AEW NXT ratings and shit, when it came to the demographic and all that stuff. And Triple H is showing that he himself has been doing a lot of things to try to counteract Tony Khan. Now, Tony Khan, of course, he himself is not perfect whatsoever. But at least what he's doing right now with MJF, like I said, you have to take that shit and run with it. He has to be champion at least until that time frame, and you have to do something special with that. But yeah, the product itself has suffered, but anyone who complains that AEW exists or AEW marks, who gives a fuck about marks? Who cares? Okay, either way, the fact that AEW exists just makes WWE better by default. And the fact that they're still sustaining themselves, again, there's a lot of factors that go into this stuff, because hell, WWE could very well potentially, more than likely Comcast, but could even potentially go into Disney's hands in a few years, maybe with The Rock. And just, you look into that, you do the math, there's some shit there potentially. So who would knows what would happen? God forbid that Disney owns WWE. But yeah, the state of wrestling itself is very much in an interesting place, and I'm still pulling for AEW to do something special. Tony Khan, he's still very much a mixed bag, but at least right now, as of late, post All Out, he is, or Full Gear, he's showing that he is he's at least doing a couple things right. Like I said, with the interim title, with MJF, you know, if you can keep the train on the tracks and keep that trajectory, we'll see what happens. WWE still has a long way to go, because Triple H, as I said, is proven to be no different than Vince McMahon at all. At all. Again, you can sit there and argue with me on that. It's like, no, look at the booking. Don't sit there and kiss that man's ass just because he is Triple H and not Vince McMahon. He is proven to be no better, no different whatsoever. So as far as the future WWE, it's not looking any brighter than what it was before. At first, maybe, but you think, like I said, that grass is greener. It's like, well, for them, probably not. Not at this point in time. But yeah, what happens with CM Punk is like, man, dude, you screwed the pooch on that one. You absolutely did. That is on you, bruh. Okay, I'm a fan. Like I said, yeah, he's an asshole. Of course. CM Punk is an absolute. Phil Brooks is a fucking asshole for the most part. Yeah, you know, but obviously you know, he's a decent wrestler, but his personality, the cult of personality, he is an absolute artist on the mic. He could just go in, be as real as possible. But MJF, though, as I feel that, yeah, if anyone's going to fill that void, it absolutely was him. And so the way that they're doing it, that's absolutely the best move imaginable to work with. And so just don't drop the ball on that, and you should be fine for the foreseeable future, but we shall see. Anyway, that'll do it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm contractually obligated to say such a thing. Why? Because I fucking said so. You don't need to see that in writing, okay? It's over there. It's written down. So do what you want to do. I don't fucking care. Anyway, yes, that'll do it for this video. I am Raiden, and I am out.